career, taking over the Johnson Air Force Base team that had not won a game, and he led them to the Far East Championship. Coach often told of the night he spent with Paul Bear Bryant discussing practice organization and defense. Returning from Japan, he held several jobs before taking an assistant football job and a history job at Manly's Military Academy, coaching with Tom Cahill. In 1959, he started his teaching and coaching career at Fayetteville Manly's. 1960, he became head coach, and aside from a year's tour of duty in Germany, during the Berlin crisis, stayed at FM until 1985. At first, he was focused on defense, since that fit his temperament and his knowledge. About 1971 to 73, he attended a clinic by Lavelle Edwards at BYU and learned the passing tree. For the rest of his time at FM, Air Vetter was the offense, creating space, counting defenders in the box, and throwing the ball on time were the hallmarks of his teams. While at FM, he obtained his master's degree in history. He was chief negotiator for the Teachers Union, president of Buildings and Grounds. He chaired the history department, chaired Section 3 football coaches, and was Coach Hall's assistant in the lacrosse program. He retired from FM in 1985 and began his second coaching career at Colgate University, where he coached football and resurrected the lacrosse program with Mike Toop. After 10 years at Colgate, he retired from there and went to Morrisville. And then he went to Hamilton, and then he decided he'd stop coaching after 6 decades. In the late 1990s, Coach Paul Pasqualoni of Syracuse asked Coach and Pat Testa if they would be interested in starting a National Football Foundation chapter in Central New York. As the first president of the foundation, the coach was able to enlist the aid of many Section 3 coaches to start a Play 60 program with uniforms and equipment donated by the Buffalo Bills at Fowler High School. Began a junior combine to collect criteria that would enable local athletes to have results that may further their careers. Most importantly, a series of scholarships began that aided high school senior scholar athletes from every school in Section 3 to continue at the college level. When he passed away in the spring of 2005, it was the fastest growing chapter of the National Football Foundation. He co-authored 2 books. He wrote a book on the history of Christ Church Manly's and the history of Trinity Church in Fayetteville, where he sang in the choir for 20 years. Coach was a man of many talents and a real lot of nice stories. He loved the game of football because he thought of all the sports. It teaches young men teamwork, sense of fair play, perseverance, discipline, and the life skills necessary for them to become good men and good citizens. He was most proud of his players and the relationships he had with them. Joe Schiavelli, Doug James, Bob Bassett, Tommy Myers, Pat Walker, Tom Rafferty, and Alex Lewis are some that I remember. On behalf of the coach and mom, his 5 children, 11 grandchildren, 7 great-grandchildren, all the players and students that he influenced, we thank you for this prestigious honor.